Dibu. My name is Laiju and this is Nidin, and we both work as PHP developers here in DBG. And in this session, we will go through few of the major JavaScript frameworks. And the frameworks that we are going to discuss today are Angular, Backbone, Ember, and Knockout. So, how many of you have used framework in your projects? JavaScript framework. Yeah, and which one? Yeah. So, in what kind of situations you use a JavaScript framework? Why don't you write plain JavaScript code? Why do you choose a JavaScript framework? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you all may have come across a situation where you write a lot of JavaScript code or jQuery code, and your project gets bigger and bigger. So it will come to a stage where it will be difficult for you to handle this JavaScript code or maintain this JavaScript code. This is where a framework comes in. A framework can bring a structure to your JavaScript code, and it will help to manage your code into modular structure and reusable structure and lot of other stuffs. First, we can go through the brief history of these frameworks. First one, AngularJS. AngularJS was developed by Misko Havry and Adam Abrams, and it was initially released in 2009. And this one is maintained by Google itself, and the current stable release is 1.2.18. And the total minified size of AngularJS is 37 KB. Moving on, next one is Knockout.js, and it was developed by Steve Sanderson, who is a Microsoft employee. But Knockout is not a Microsoft project, it's an open source project. And the first release was on July 5, 2010, and the current version is 3.1.0. And the total size of Knockout.js is 17 KB. Moving on, next one is Backbone.js, and it was created by Jeremy Ashkenaz, and he's also the _JS and CoffeeScript. And the current stable release of Backbone.js is 1.1.2, and the total size of Backbone.js is 6.5 KB. And this one is the JavaScript library with its size is only 6.5 KB, and it's the lowest size. Moving on, the next one is Ember. Ember was created by Yehuda Katz, who is also a member of jQuery, Ruby on Rails, and Sprout Core. Initially, Ember was released as Sprout Core 2.0 framework, and later on it was renamed as Ember.js. And the initial release was on 2011, and the current stable release is 1.5.1. And its size is 71 KB total, and the minified version of Ember is about 71 KB. This one is the largest one. And I welcome Nidin to give a detailed comparison of all these frameworks.
Thank you, Laiju. So, 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 so we are going to compare these JavaScript frameworks, and we are going a scoring system like this. We have three icons which denotes this denotes good, this is not good, and this is an average. So first we can get it download and get it running. So backbone it is a screenshot of the home page of Backbone, and we can download the development version as well as the production version there. And there is also a GitHub here, and the production version is the minified and G-shaped version. It is, you can see the size difference, and that is for development purposes. It is not minified. And Ember also production and debug versions. It requires handlebar.js. That is also provided in the homepage itself, and there is a GitHub available for that also. And Angular.js provides a much more level, and it also provides a CDN, So we can use it directly from the third party, and there is a GitHub also available for that. So not at CDN. Actually, it's not included here. It's also provided CDN, and the GitHub is also there. So comparing these, Docker and AngularJS are giving the good rating, and others are average. So dependencies. So what we call is dependencies here. So if our frameworks, if our framework is depending on some other libraries for its working. For example, some may require JS for jQuery for its working. Others does not need anything. It's a comparison based on that. So first of all, backbone.js. Its primary requirement is _.js. It also requires jQuery for its working. So the _.js is nothing but a set of API functions, and it's from the same developer itself. And jQuery, all we know what is jQuery. And for the Ember, it depends handlebars. And handlebars it's a templating engine that Embers use. So it is a must for Ember. It uses the handlebar templates to be more precise, and it uses jQuery, also uses jQuery for its working. And regarding Angular.js and NoCode.js, they did not need any other libraries for its working. Having said that, the NoCode.js needs some other libraries for specific functions, like it is not support routing, so it needs some libraries for routing and all. But for its primary purpose and for its working, it does not need any other applications. So second comes the data binding. It is a most what we call the most primary feature of a framework. So what data binding is we have a DOM element, say an input element or a div element, and we have a object or whatever data is. How we map this object? So how we map this element to that object? That is what data binding comes from. And there are many things like that. We have bind an input element's value to some other value and spans test, something like that.
An example or a sample of that data binding to know, because normally JavaScript developers they will not be knowing about that term, right? How many of you know about JavaScript binding, data binding? So we are there is when we hear about data binding, it will be confusing.
Yeah. So this is a simple script written on no code. So what does here is, so first of all we are coming to the JavaScript object. What we comes in the no code is view model. So there is a view model object which contains all our data. And so let's say we have a first number. Okay.
JavaScript.
So here comes, we have a first number over here, and that input's value is bounded to a variable name called first name. We are simply binding it.
Okay, normally we just write like input type is equal to text, etc. So here
we are not initializing anything, or we are not specifying a value as such to that element right now. We are just set the UI that it is binded to a variable called first name.
Okay.
This is what it does here. And similarly, we have the second number also bind to the value field. And coming down, we have the span. So you can see there data bind, and what it bind is the test field. For the input, it is binded to the value field, and span is binded to the test field.
So this data bind is a keyword of which JS, no-code JS?
It's particular, not a keyword. It's a no-code JS.
Okay.
And so this comes from. So we have some here. Just think that we have some like some first names, second name, etc. And we have like input, span, etc. And binding that first name we done in the U part only.
Okay, if you look at the UA part, we know that the first number, then there is a text box, last number, text box. You have entered values are, that is some values are showing, and some of the number is 13. So,
So
we are creating a page where we keep two text boxes, enter those things. Whatever we entered has to be shown there,
yeah,
and also the sum should be shown.
yeah. So what? So where does this 3 comes from? The answer is how the first name is written here. So here the first name is written as ko.observer. We can simply put as equal to 5. It's also work. But what the observable does it makes the no code think that it is an observable variable. So whatever changes happening to that variable has to affect it here also. Let's see. So we are changing this to 30, I say.
So, Nitin, question is for you.
Yeah.
So don't you need to specify that view model somewhere in the HTML? Because how do you know if I have a separate function which has the same two parameters, first number and second number? Assume that there is a view model 1 in the
Yeah.
JavaScript.
So it's a more advanced topic, and we can here there is option available with you can it with ko dot with parameter. So we can specify from where which view model to use for a particular div, which model we use for another div, etc. We can provide
Okay.
that.
This
There
is
a
just the basic for the entry level people to understand
There is
that we are able to do JavaScript libraries or JavaScript frameworks.
So we can specify a view model for a div,
Okay.
especially
So let us think that is initially that is if we want to implement this functionality, how will you write the code? We will write a JavaScript function, and that is we will mention a div there and tell that 30. Okay, on change we will call the and then another JavaScript function to find the sum and update that. That is the normal method that we handle, and we can see that how easily and quickly we can have it in with the framework.
as I said,
Binding.
as I said earlier, the first name we declare it as observable. What observable says, it makes the think that it is an observable variable. That means if any change happen to that variable, if we are putting that somewhere in the script and changing the value first name, it also affect here. So when we are inputting that value, it also affect here. When a change happens, it knows there is a change happening and it have to update all other dependencies. So this is what it helps. And another is keyword computed. This keyword make it like once it's make that, so it depends on the variable it computes.
Keywords
Yeah.
or new words that is observable. Ko dot it is knockout, right? Ko
Yeah,
dot
dot
observable. That is we just need to learn understand Ko dot observable, Ko dot computed, and apply bindings. These are the three things
So-
that's something new for us for a normal JavaScript developer.
So what
Everything else it is just a variable. Assigned. Okay.
So what happens here is if we are not providing the ko dot apply bindings not work.
So you just first show that is how the apply bindings work.
So
And
then let's see. If we have a input screen here, HTML here, and we are binding some variables, and we have the variables in the view models, and it is assigned to some variables. But without we apply that bindings, it won't show up here. So it is simply when we apply that bindings, the values come. So if so so we and another thing is we can remove that ko dot observer. We can simply put that at 5 and run.
I think that is we didn't see that is how actually it works.
Yeah.
So that will make
So-
things clear. Yeah.
So here is a first number. We are changing that to some other values. Say 10. and the value is changed over here. We are not triggering any events on the change event or something else. It is automatically done by no code, and this functionality is called as what we called as dependency tracking. So it tracks all the dependence of that variable and changes everywhere. Here the sum also dependent on this first number and second number. That's why the sum also changes here.
So I think
Is that clear?
I think let's get everyone into track on that. Everyone,
anyone have any
it is a
doubt?
simple example, and I think that is everyone should be able to understand that. Once it is ready, and you say, okay, we can go to the next screen.
Is there
So,
any?
any questions on this?
Yes.
Do some changes. If somebody want to do, go and check something there to confirm that whether your understanding is right. You are most welcome.
Yes. What? Number. Actually, we are converting that to as number itself. It works as a JavaScript, and we can convert it or something using. No, nothing. Yeah, it will be returning null or zero simply. This is what it happens.
Hey, see, keeping it very simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, when we write this program, we write HTML first,
Yeah.
and then we write JavaScript based on HTML DOM elements, right? What we have on the HTML.
Okay.
In Knockout, do we have to first understand? Okay, we are going to use Knockout.js, then construct the HTML in Knockout fashion, and then write the Knockout view model.
It's not like that. Well, actually, we have the data first.
Yeah, because see, in this case, you have written input data bind value first number.
Yeah.
If I write input type equal to text, name equal to first number, it may not fit Knockout.js.
Yeah.
Correct. So
even if you
means-
put if name field and whatever the properties HTML works, if you are binding that variable, it works in Knockout variable. So what you are saying is, so what you are going to ask is, if you are using name, so first name.
yeah, remove the data bind value first number also.
No, if you don't remove that data bind, it won't work.
Yeah, so
It's a basic part. It's if it is binded to the knockout, it's only work. If it is not binding, that data bind is actually the binding that element to the variable.
no, I was talking from a legacy JavaScript developer point of view, right? We would not even bother to write data bind value first number.
So it's more like HTML5 point of view.
So the value input type is a text. That is if you want to have these properties, that is we just need to include a data bind there, right?
Yeah, we just need to include
data
data
bind
bind.
is
Whatever
simply
left
like-
is there.
Simply like we have some variables there defined, and whatever value that variable gets, just show it there. This text field or this DOM element is binded to this value or this variable, and whatever changes that happens in that variable will be shown there. And also dependencies. For example, there is looping. It is like we have a mark of 5 subjects. We have another variable that we use for the total, and we have another variable where we divide it and use it for average. So whenever a variable that mark of one subject max changes, this value for all the dependent variables also get updated. For example, so total get updated. So what do we call for that?
Dependency tracking.
Dependency tracking. So it tracks all the dependencies. All those are dependent for this variable and update that also. And whichever UI element that is binded to that variable gets updated, right?
Yeah. So this is very simple thing actually to get an introduction also. So anyone else have any doubts?
So AngularJS expert Can, so can you write the same thing in AngularJS? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's we can bind to that validation also,
Okay.
critical fields also.
So yeah.
Do you write the same HTML or sorry, do you write the same HTML or is it different?
The only thing is that is when we want to learn these type of libraries, we just learn to some basics and some new keywords we will be learning and use it with our normal HTML and JavaScript itself. Do you have a fiddle of AngularJS? So the method data binding is just binding a variable to a particular UA element.
This is
Okay.
what.
Question was, see, as I understand, since I have never used these frameworks,
Okay.
so if I decide to use this framework, I have to do a prerequisite of changing the HTML as well.
No.
Like for
Actually,
example,
no.
you are using ng model here for.
So what ng model, ng app, what they called as directives. They are just additions for what we have a HTML. There are some additives on that. The basic HTMLs remain the same.
Then
Done here in AngularJS model. It's same to that. Actually ng app and ng model are directives in Angular.js, and what ng app tell the Angular.js is something that maintained by Angular.js. It's an Angular.js application, and ng model binds the element with a variable. So we have a ng model which we name as first, and we can get the variable in double curly brackets. It's a no-code style.
So the thing is that that is everyone we can easily step into these JavaScript frameworks if we understand certain process or something that is changes from our normal development. So one is data binding, and let's move to the next.
So anyone have any doubt in data binding or?
So everyone got clarity on what data binding is? Yes, it is
okay.
just binding to a UA element. That's all. Okay. So this session, that is, you can be open to ask questions because it is to be an interactive session. He is also just from his experience, limited experience, he is just trying to share his knowledge, whatever he knows. Apply bindings, all those things are not required, right? No. So yes, essential values can also be said, right? Everything that we does in one framework can be done in another thing, but it might be using a different
Methods.
way. Nothing like that. It will automatically handle that. That is the speciality of AngularJS. And
Chrome. You could have done this demo in Chrome.
yeah.
Thank you. So no-code.js, it's a data binding file. As I say, it supports data binding file. Data can be bound to many attributes like test, value, options, etc. That array, another key in Angular no code, and it initializes array of values. And if you can directly use the options in there. It's simple as that, and it's accessible for custom bindings also. So in the rating picture, we are putting a good rating for the no-code.js. So Angular it's depending in the full supported. I think that it is mostly in JSON format, right? And it's also sufficient to create custom bindings, like custom directives and all. Yeah, here the JS does not support data binding. In the code, there are plugins. So here in the Node.js, this data binding is supported, but it is a get and set methods for getting and setting values in the Ember object. It's slightly different. So we have rated it as good, not it's rated as average. Yeah. So what is routing? Anyone knows what is routing? Yeah. So it's nothing. If you are a user, so if you're putting industry and if you have to route, I mean it was to route to a particular functions. There comes the routing. So if using JavaScript, Gmail can know that. If code inbox, we are putting hash inbox over there and we get the inbox. This is handled by JavaScript.
It is not redirecting to another. The major important features of this JavaScript framework, that is we can build single page application. Single page application means everything will be handled within one page.
So 2.MVC, is anyone knows 2.MVC? So it puts all the frameworks code readily available for comparison. It's basically a function in different ways. They did the same way for Backbone, they did the same way for Knockout, they did the same for AngularJS, and it's also available for download.
Okay.
So
could you please show an example of this routing?
കുറച്ച് data. So what here this is we have added elements, test elements and mark on as active. So this link here to switch to active and completed. So what here is used and we put hash there and given the first tag there. So what is we basically use slug and map it to a function, or so map it to template, map it to a controller, something like that. This is computing. So clear this? Not so this is how routing is done in Backbone.js. So it actually what it does is it extends that Backbone.router class. It's a jQuery, it's a Backbone function.
So in this session, you do not want to understand it completely to be an expert to handle all these things. It is just for understanding that these type of things are possible within these frameworks. That's all. Don't worry that I will not be able to do this, handle it or understand it completely. But it is, these are the changes from that normal development environment. That's all.
This Backbone, what it does it, so anything slug comes after hash. If it's a person, it maps to person function. It's a person slash some ID. It also comes to the person function. Person slash ID page goes to the person function. You can specify whatever it may be.
So currently all these three are mapping to a single function, but we can map it to different function based on our requirement. So it is just the slug, it will take it and we can route it to different functions or template based on that, our requirement.
So this is more simple in terms of backbone, and but it is not that much capable like some other frameworks. That's why we not give a good rating here.
Okay, so it will get passed as query parameter will be passed to the function.
Yes.
For example, the person 101, the URL slug contain those three things. So,
there is a variable called ID over here.
Okay.
And page over here. The query has the whole things.
Okay. So based on that, it get handled.
So it's almost similar to the backbone.js in case of Angular.js, but the change is here we can specify a template URL, also a controller where it redirects to. So most of a similar way in case of a web developer, if you are using a PHP or something, Send framework or something like it is similar to that. So it is a person/person. It goes to person controller. It's person with ID. It goes to person details, something like that. Understand?
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, Ember is extremely capable, but it is very complex, and it supported embedded roots. So whereas routing inside the routing, it is difficult to understand.
To know is that there is routing in all these frameworks,
and so that no code. Actually, no code does not support any routing by itself. That's why I said but it can be configurable with third-party libraries. There are many third-party libraries, Sami.js, Director.js, and many more there. You can use anything with this nocode.js. It is easily configurable with others. So, it does not have any support by default. That's make it we give that not good rating for this. So view assembly, but how the stuffs are displayed on the front end. That the UI part, template parts, that's all confirmed in the view section. So backbone.js is simple and straightforward. There has no official templating in there. They have support for view, but there is no templating in there. We can use underscore.js, which is required anyway. So back in backbone working, it requires underscore.js also, and you can use handlebars also in backbone.js. So Angular.js, it uses HTML templating system, and it automatically pulls HTML templates via Ajax when needed. It's what happens behind the screen. So it also uses handlebar templates here. Actually, the Ember does not work without handlebars. It is using handlebars view.hbf files. It using, and it is very easy to create reusable components here in. So no-code uses HTML templating system. It supports two types of templating. It supports two types of templating. One is native templating, which is supported by default by there, and it comes with the no-code. And other is string-based templating, that is used for third part. That is used by the no-code to compatible with third-party template engines like Smarty or something like that. We use string-based templating. So let's see how these frameworks supports testing. So Backbone is from the size itself, it is a simple plugin, and it comes in a 7 KB size. There is not much features available in Backbone. It also doesn't have a testing solution here. We can use, but it is easily configurable with others. We can use Jasmine, Cinnamon, many other things like that. So Angular.js, it has a fantastic test support. It uses Karma for testing, unit testing itself. It is developed by the Angular.js team itself. So, so Ember, coming to Ember, it does not have any testing capabilities on the start, but later it developed that the Q unit, but integrated with the Q unit. So some of them will be available of Q unit. It is most popular testing environment here.
So these testings are for unit testing the code, right? These libraries.
So here also there is no default debugging tools or testing tools available inbuilt, but it can use with Jasmine or Sinon.js. In addition to that, there is functions like console.log. As we said, we log the we can log to the console. Also that the ko.to JSON function. What that ko.to JSON function does it? We have a view model. We convert the exact view model to a JSON object so that we can display it anywhere. We can see what happened inside the view model also. So data. How this framework get data from? So as I know that these types of framework are used for APIs, the server side that require less communication with the server, like API application it have. And so how can it get data from? So Backbone.js mainly uses $.ajax, jQuery's $.ajax for getting data from the server. It is very easy to understand. Just like if not jQuery, it is easy to get data from Backbone. It is simple like that. So in case of Angular, it has no jQuery, right? And it uses $HTTP and $resource for getting data. So and $resource is most advanced, and $HTTP provides basic data, and $resource we need another module of Angular.js called mg resource to be installed. And so in the Ember also it uses jQuery $ajax. So it is very easy with jQuery $get, but it may be complicated if you want provide all in the Ember way. It is just little bit complicated. If you want get data only in the Ember way, it is difficult, but it can be easily get in jQuery's way or some else way. So Nocode also uses jQuery's Ajax, but Nocode has a mapping plugin in also there. So what does this mapping plugin available? Mapping plugin does is getting a JSON object from the API. Okay, and we have a view model here. We can convert this object to the view model. There comes the mapping plugin, which maps the JSON object or some other object we are getting to that view model object.
The basic understanding of the framework is required to.
Yeah.
That's okay. That is, we will deal it in later sessions in detail so that everyone can get things clearly.
So concluding, so we have another important feature to choose a framework is how good their community is, how quick we can get the help from. There is the community for AngularJS, Nocode.js is very good. Actually, we can get lot of stuff there, lot of support there. And compared to that, Backbone.js is very low and Ember is average. The third-party integration, the Angular.js has its own style of coding, and it is difficult for third-party libraries to interact with. That makes it difficult to integrate with other libraries. In that feature, Nocode and Backbone has full support for integrating with third-party libraries. It can integrate with any libraries you want, and the Ember also supports some level of support to integrate with other JS library, but not like Nocode and Backbone. So development tools available, and Angular.js has a Chrome plugin also, right? And Compared to that, no-code is also have a good development tools. Here comes the backbone.js does not have any much support like in terms of development tools here. So what I am just told is based on my research and what I know. This is not the in code that written in a stone or like that. You can bend it any way as you like.
And also these things, that is, it keeps on changing. Keeps on changing means that is one day that is we will consider that is one framework is really good, and the next day they may stop support for that. So we cannot have a complete guideline for that, but this is just for a kickstart. That is to understand that is what actually are there and what are some of the features that there in these type of frameworks and how they differ between each other. Okay. So, regarding the principle of natural fit, that is, there are some libraries that are naturally fit for certain specific function. For example, if we are using a JSON or a RESTful application, we are building it. Backbone.js is a very good choice, and for frameworks like Angular, Backbone, etc., for building single page application. And the major problem here is the team's adaptability, how quickly you can learn and implement it. And if you are a Zen framework developer, that is if you are know the Zen framework, or it will be easy for you to understand AngularJS. Silverlight developers, that is the choice of which framework to take or learn based on the learning curve, or easy to learn. If you are a Silverlight, Knockout.js will be a choice because both uses MVVM pattern. And Ruby on Rails developers, Ember would be a better choice. And if you for Backbone.js, just the basic knowledge of jQuery is okay, but it takes much time for you to learn it because documentation is less and it is a little bit tougher. And before we conclude, that is, we have to decide, that is, whether we need to use a JavaScript library or we have to write our own. Because there are some problems also related to these third-party libraries. Using these libraries, there are some issues also, or some problems. That is, it is not any alarming problems, but some small problems based on these JavaScript libraries. And after that, we will be concluding this session. And these problems are like libraries create code lock-ins. That is, once we use AngularJS and build the application completely in AngularJS, we are using its data binding. We are using it just as its question. We are using its routing. It is not so easy for us to quickly decide and jump to knockout. So these frameworks sometimes create code lock-ins, and also which can be anticipated. Just as I mentioned before, sometimes libraries, we select a library as a lightweight library. For example, Ember was initially a lightweight library, and we start using it, and then when future versions, more features are getting added or more fixes are done, it can become heavy. And library version upgrades are many times not backward compatible. And abstractions provided by these libraries actually make us lazy. Because very good JavaScript programmers, they after starting using these libraries, they just wait for example, if you are using a calendar.js or any third-party widget, if there is a problem in that, even if he is a good JavaScript developer, he will not go inside and try to understand what is happening in the JavaScript or the base level, because they just feel that I just know the jQuery and all these things, I cannot, or these widget, how to use that widget in a single line of code, and I do not know what actually happens inside. Okay, so that makes us lazy, and that is many times if there is a performance issue with one widget, we will never go in and try to dig it out. Instead, we will search for another widget that provides that support. Okay. Then for non-expert developers, if you are not aware of the JavaScript and browser internals, that is, we may not be doing it in the optimal way. And writing clean and efficient code, that is, we have mentioned that these frameworks are used for code modularization and have a very perfect coding standards. And it is up to the developers to do the code or write the code in the better fashion. And we cannot say that it is a problem with the framework. And on the end, the only thing that we have to do is choose wisely. And in future, next month, we are planning to have a session on Knockout JS where we can go in depth with that technology.